But I'ma tell you like this, when I saw that, I think T.I. fucking lying.
Tell me. It been 20 years, bro. It been 20 years. I figure if I wasn't built like that, it'll show by now. It been 20 years, bro. I done faced every challenge the motherfucker that like to throw at me, man. You ain't seen me fold, you ain't seen me break down.
King Harris is back in the spotlight, and this time, the drama is wild. Forget about the Waffle House brawls or him ducking out on court dates. His own baby mama just flipped the internet upside down after allegedly leaking what people are now calling a gay tape of King. Whether it's legit or not almost doesn't matter because social media is running with it like it's gospel. The streets are already buzzing, and Booosie just poured gasoline on the fire by clowning T.I. for how he raised his son. That jab hit different because Booosie didn't even come at King directly. He went straight for tip, making it clear this ain't just gossip anymore, it's a feud brewing in front of millions. And the leak only cracked open every dusty rumor folks have been whispering about for years. Fans are saying things like, he always looked a little fruity, or that the baby was just a cover-up. Now, people are revisiting the idea that King might not even be the real father of his son, Applaud, with some claiming his baby mama got pregnant just to secure the bag. It gets even messier. The talk online paints King as a wannabe gangster who's been cosplaying a street life he never actually lived. Every clip of him spiraling out in public, from shouting matches to reckless behavior, is now being stitched together as proof that the chaos was always building toward this moment. And with Booosie stepping in to throw shade, the narrative shifted overnight. This isn't just a leaked tape or questions about sexuality anymore. It's about T.I.'s parenting, King's crumbling image, and a family feud playing out in real time. Strap in, because next we're diving headfirst into the paternity rumors, the baby cover-up theory, King's fake gangster accusations, and how this latest scandal turned into one giant humiliation for T.I. himself. From the moment King's baby mama popped up with the pregnancy news, the internet wasn't buying it. The first red flag? She's older than him, and fans immediately pounced, dragging her with comments like, "Girl, you knew exactly what you were doing." That age gap had people side-eyeing from the start, saying the whole setup looked more like a calculated move than a love story. Then came the whispers about the money. Folks swore she only got pregnant to secure the Harris bag, chasing the fame, the last name, and the guaranteed checks. The internet painted her as someone who saw the Harris dynasty as her golden ticket, and having King's baby was the fastest way in. Whether it was true or not didn't even matter, because the chatter online was relentless. When the baby finally arrived, you'd think it would silence the rumors, right? Wrong. If anything, the speculation exploded. Comment sections were full of people saying, "That baby doesn't even look like King." Others claimed King was just desperate to flex grown man status, showing off that he could provide, protect, and play the role of a father, even if the math wasn't mathing for some fans. That's when King himself tried to shut it down. He hopped online, calling the baby his twin, saying over and over, "He looks just like me." He even dropped picture after picture, pushing the narrative that no one could deny the resemblance. But instead of quieting the trolls, it only fueled the debate, because for every fan who agreed, there were 10 more insisting something about this whole situation just didn't add up. But here's the wild part. The harder King tried to convince everyone the baby was his, the less people believed him. And it wasn't just about paternity anymore. It was about a history of whispers that never died down. For years, the internet has been buzzing with rumors about King's sexuality. And when that pregnancy announcement dropped, fans instantly labeled it a cover move. They said, "Oh, he's just trying to prove something." Now, with this so-called leaked tape floating around, those same voices are screaming, "We knew it!" This was the plan all along, have a baby to shut down the rumors. Suddenly, the whole conversation shifted. What started as baby drama turned into a bigger question about whether King has been performing his entire image just to keep people talking. And this wasn't even the first time people accused him of putting on a show. For years, fans have been clowning him for cosplaying the gangster life. He talks tough, inserts himself into beefs, and acts like he's really from the trenches. But then reality hits. Everybody remembers this is T.I. and Tiny's son. He wasn't starving in the streets. He was raised in privilege, surrounded by money, fame, and family support. To make it worse, King himself admitted that much of his childhood was spent living with his grandma. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't exactly scream, I came up from the struggle. Instead, people started calling him a pretend thug, saying the hood talk and the reckless antics were just another layer of his act. So now the narrative is stacked against him. Not only do people think the baby was a strategy move, but they're also saying King's entire persona is one big costume, and the mask is slipping.
I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like the weekend. They'll say, hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. They'll come get me from my grandma's house. And right after we done, when the cameras go off, I'm right back to my grandma's house.
Every time King jumps online yelling about being from the hood, the internet drags him instantly. The comments stay ruthless, telling him to be serious. Fans say he's been forcing this street persona for years, trying to wear a mask that never really fit. It's like he's stuck fighting two wars at the same time. One to prove he's a grown man and father, and another to convince folks he's some hardened gangster. But instead of earning respect, it just makes his spiral look even uglier. And the spiral hit peak chaos once those Waffle House clips went viral. That footage showed King straight up barking at employees, threatening people, and trying to flex like he was running the whole spot. Social media couldn't believe it. The son of T.I. and Tiny wilding out at a fast food joint like he had something to prove. The memes, the stitches, the commentary, it was brutal. Here's the clip that had everybody talking. King wilding out in Waffle House.
So what I'm saying is, they wasn't
talk like that outside.
Hey, I can talk how the f I want to wherever I'm at. I'm on live, Shawty. Stop talking to me. Stop talking to me. This ain't your f***ing restaurant. This ain't your f***ing restaurant. Everything you make, I can pull out my pocket right now. I ain't tripping on you. I ain't tripping. Get the hell out of my face. I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. Who the hell is he? What's your name?
What's your name?
My name King. You know it and your mama know it. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Tell your mama Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. File your shit.
Come back.
What? On game what? On game what? Come here. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. I'll show you what I do. Come here. Come here. Come on.
The next day, things got even crazier when his own father stepped in. I went live, basically exposing the disconnect between King's reality and the image he's trying to sell. Tip admitted he didn't understand why his son felt the need to argue with a short-order cook when he lives a life most people only dream of. He even said he and King's uncles tried to pull him aside and remind him, with privilege, money, and family support, why stoop down and flex on people just working their jobs?
Well, I mean, of course I spoke with my son. You know, me and his uncles. You know, we were perplexed by his necessity to go back and forth with a short order cook. I didn't understand why he felt he needed to stop what he was doing to engage someone who was at such another level of life. Now, I had to explain to him that, you know, when people are not living the way they hope they would live, and here you is walking in with so much freedom and luxury, and you know, people gonna posture themselves a certain way. So therefore, you're gonna have to enjoy your life. You're gonna have to remove yourself from that energy and go enjoy your life.
But that advice clearly bounced right off King, because instead of slowing down, his name only kept popping up. And always for the wrong reasons. Every stunt, every outburst, every reckless move just added to the narrative that King Harris was spiraling, and no one, not even his famous father, could control the downfall. The biggest turning point came when King's arrest footage from 2024 hit the internet. And it was ugly. The video showed exactly what went down when Georgia police pulled him over. According to the cops, King nearly smashed into a squad car while pulling out of a gas station in his BMW. They claimed they smelled weed pouring out the car, and if that wasn't bad enough, he had a gun sitting right on his hip. Once they ran his info, it got even messier. Turns out he had a warrant sitting from way back in 2022, tied to speeding, driving on a suspended license, and even a DUI. He was supposed to show up in court but never did, which is why the warrant was still hanging over his head. The footage showed officers yanking him out, cuffing him up, and sending him straight to county jail. Now, King wasn't wilding in the clip. He actually looked calm while getting cuffed. But the internet, they tore him apart. Fans said this was just more proof his life was spiraling out of control. Comment sections blew up, calling him reckless and clowning him for living like a wannabe gangster while fumbling every chance at redemption. And to make sure nobody missed it, blogs kept reposting the footage. Even King being read his rights became a viral moment. At this point, it wasn't just about reckless behavior anymore. Fans started connecting the dots, saying the Waffle House fiasco, the skipped court dates, and now this arrest footage all looked like distractions, desperate attempts to cover up the deeper rumors he just couldn't shake. And that's when things really exploded, because right as this alleged tape started circulating, Booosie decided to pop off. Instead of staying out of it, he allegedly went straight for T.I.'s neck, clowning him with slick comments about how his son ended up in this mess. The internet clocked it instantly. This wasn't shade at King. This was Booosie firing shots directly at Tip himself. And that's what makes it explosive. Booosie ain't just some random voice chiming in. His words hit with weight, and him turning this scandal into a chance to embarrass T.I. is what set the whole situation on fire. Booosie stepping into King's mess hit different because this isn't the first time his mouth has gotten him in trouble. Let's not forget, this is the same man who had to publicly apologize to his own daughter Iona after making homophobic comments about her being gay. He jumped on Instagram, tried to clean it up, dropped an apology, but everybody knew the truth. He said what he really felt the first time, and the damage was already done. So when folks saw him inserting himself into King's scandal, the backlash was instant. People were calling him a hypocrite, saying, "Isn't this the pot calling the kettle black? Like, how you gonna clown somebody else's child when your own family drama is still hanging over your head?" Fans dragged him for being quick to throw shade at T.I. while his own house wasn't even in order. And it doesn't stop there, because Boosie's not exactly moving clean himself. He just cut a plea deal on those gun charges, and everybody knows if things go sideways, he could easily end up back behind bars. So for him to be trolling Tip right now, when he's got his own freedom hanging by a thread, shows this wasn't just casual internet chatter, this was personal. And that's the piece people keep highlighting. Booosie didn't just pop off for clout. His history with T.I. has been shaky for years, full of tension and silent digs. So this latest move, fans are convinced it's not even about King at all. It's Booosie taking his shot at Tip in the dirtiest way possible, dragging his son into the fire just to make him look weak. To really get why Booosie is even in this mix, you've got to rewind the tape and look at the messy timeline of his beef with T.I. because it explains everything. It all kicked off when Booosie made headlines for going after Dwayne Wade's daughter after she came out as transgender. And here's the clip that blew the internet wide open. Booosie talking reckless about Wade's child, a moment that had social media branding him transphobic on the spot. The backlash was heavy, and T.I. jumped in right away. Tip went straight to Instagram, telling Booosie to mind his business and stop worrying about somebody else's kids. That clapback planted the seed for what would become an ugly feud. Fans noticed right then, Booosie and T.I. weren't moving like brothers anymore. Fast forward a couple months and things got even nastier. Booosie flipped the switch and came for Tip directly, calling him a snitch over his old federal gun case. He sat down with Vlad and flat out said, "That means you're cooperating. That means you're a rat." Those words were like throwing gasoline on a lit match.
With the T.I. situation, if he did that, you're a fucking rat too. I don't spare no motherfucking body. Because if you doing anything wrong, you doing anything criminal-wise, and you cooperate with law enforcement to get you out of trouble, that means you're cooperating, that means you're a rat.
T.I. wasted no time firing back. He clapped back online saying he'd never let anyone disrespect his family and made it crystal clear he wasn't scared to go head-to-head with Booosie if it came to that. Tip's message was simple. He wasn't about to let Booosie stain his name or paint him as something he wasn't. That back and forth, from parenting shots to snitch accusations, locked them into a cold war that never really cooled down. And now, with King Harris caught in the middle of a scandal, Booosie sliding in to take shots feels less like random shade and more like the next chapter in a feud that's been brewing for years. From there, things only snowballed and the shots got nastier. That summer, Booosie went in on T.I.'s parenting after Tip admitted he once took his daughter to the gynecologist. Booosie blasted him, saying it was controlling and way out of pocket. Tip didn't let it slide. He snapped back hard, calling Booosie the last person who should be giving out parenting advice. That's when the gloves came off. Suddenly, they weren't just throwing shade about family decisions. The shots expanded to street credibility, parenting, and even revisiting those snitching accusations. What had started as little jabs was now a full-on personal feud, and fans could see it plain as day. For a brief moment, it looked like they were ready to bury the hatchet. Both went online saying they were moving on and didn't really have a problem. But that peace treaty didn't last long. By 2023, it blew up all over again when Booosie accused T.I. of not standing by him during his own legal mess. Booosie felt abandoned, like Tip had turned his back when he needed support most. But T.I. clapped back again, saying he was done babysitting grown men. He made it clear he wasn't about to defend someone who constantly disrespected him, no matter how long they'd known each other. That right there slammed the door shut on any chance of them being cool again. So when you fast forward to now, it all makes perfect sense. Booosie diving into King's scandal wasn't random at all. It wasn't just him being messy for clout, this was payback. The perfect chance to humiliate T.I. in front of the world, using his son's drama as the weapon. This was Boosie's perfect chance to jab T.I. right where it hurts, through his own son. With King sitting at the center of non-stop internet drama, Booosie couldn't resist sliding in. And once that alleged tape started spreading, the trolls wasted zero time dragging King to pieces. The comments were savage, cold in a way that showed they'd been waiting for this moment. One person flat out wrote, "He was always weird looking to me. Too bad he took after Tiny and not Tip." That cut deep because people have been mocking his looks since he was a kid, constantly comparing him to his famous parents. But the internet didn't stop there. Another user went even harsher, dropping, "He looks like that clown always trying to kill Bart Simpson, Sideshow Bob." Within hours, side-by-side memes started flooding timelines, and King's name was plastered under every punchline. But the cruelest blow came from the comment that truly lit the fire. King about to be queen. That one line didn't just clown his image. It dragged the entire conversation straight back to years of speculation about his sexuality. Suddenly, this wasn't just jokes anymore. This was people weaponizing every rumor, every whisper, every piece of gossip they'd been holding on to, and it spiraled out of control. That's why this scandal feels so much bigger than just a leaked tape. These comments prove that fans never stop questioning who King really is. And now, with Booosie stirring the pot and amplifying the narrative, the story has twisted into something deeper. Not just about King's identity, but about the bitter blood between T.I. and Booosie. Right now, King Harris isn't just fighting his own battle. He's caught dead in the middle of a feud that's been simmering for years. And every insult thrown at him is really another dagger aimed at his father. At this point, the situation isn't just about King Harris, it's about legacy, image, and the ugly reality of hip-hop feuds spilling into family business. A leaked tape, brutal comments, and years of rumors have now turned into ammo for Booosie to take his biggest shots yet at T.I. The internet may clown King, but the real sting is watching his father get dragged into the mud right alongside him. For King, every move he makes, from fighting at Waffle House to skipping court to trying to flex street cred, only fuels the narrative that he's spiraling. For T.I., every headline about his son doubles as a headline questioning his parenting and his own credibility in the game. And with Booosie circling, throwing shade at the exact moment King is most vulnerable, this feud feels less like rap drama and more like a calculated war of humiliation. The wild part? Nobody knows where it ends. Will King bounce back and finally silence the rumors, or will the internet keep tearing down every piece of his image? Will T.I. clap back at Booosie, or will he try to ignore the shade and protect what's left of his family's name? One thing's clear, this saga isn't finished, and the next move could flip the entire story upside down. And if you want every twist, every leaked clip, and every feud breakdown before anyone else, keep it locked right here at BarzBuzz, where hip-hop's biggest scandals get exposed with no filter.